Hello, the Mature Simmer here. So I'm trying out a new version of gameplay here within American Truck Simulator. Not sure how it's going to go. Not really tried it before, but I'm trying to use a lot of the realistic economy mods, which really revolve around both the economy and fuel, and then some other things to just add a bit more realism and playability into the game. So one of the items, for example, is the traffic lights turning very quickly. Makes it very difficult to move around, but also having more realistic traffic at time of day situations and so forth. So several mods within here, but basically the key thing is it's realistic economy. And so I'm using GDC's realistic economy, which is still technically in beta according to how it's listed on the Steam Workshop. But it's going to keep our prices down and require that we run a lot of loads, just like a real trucker would, to make any kind of money. So what that will mean is, other than the first run or two, I'm likely just going to have episodes where I show the start and the end of runs and just do that for a couple minutes, and then do the next one, and then compile an episode that's likely under a half an hour over time of just a bunch of trips to see where we end up with at the end. That also means I have no idea how often these episodes will come out, because amongst my focus on Farming Simulator with FSN and others, frankly, my time to play ATS is limited, and this is going to require a substantial amount of time to make progress. So I will put these out when I can, when I feel I have enough, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm here at the start, and I need to select a starting point. Oh, the other decision I did make is I'm not using Pro Mods here because the updates, every time SCS changes the game version, the updates take a while, and then I don't want a situation where I can run some and I can't because I'm waiting for Pro Mods to update. So I don't want to be playing that game. Just trying to figure out where I should start, because obviously we're going to be kind of in that area for a long period of time. But it's hard to beat something like LA or San Diego. Although, maybe San Francisco makes sense. There's a lot of cities up here. I've got a lot of options that I'll be able to unlock pretty quickly, which will give us some ability, even though we can only take short trips, to go ahead and make some changes. Right, so I don't need the tutorial. Alright, so we're going to run a job with construction houses, and as you can see, we're going to make $35. Now we're staying locally in San Francisco, so that's certainly reasonable. But once we run this first load and we go to the job market and pick up some other things, we'll take a look at what we've got. Alright, so we're back here after I've changed my options, and we're getting ready to haul these over and make our $35. And I do have realistic physics loaded, which is new to me to some degree as well. I've played a little bit with it, enough to know that it makes it substantially more difficult. So, hoping it's not going to cause me massive problems as far as being able to actually function. Because if I keep hitting people and getting fines, I'm going to lose any money I have, because obviously trips like this that, you know, I make $35 on, whoops, or running red lights if I can't slow down, but right now the braking appears to be working well, so we'll see how it goes. But as I said, this may prove to be much more challenging than I think, and may not be workable, but you know, I wanted to try it because I just wanted to kind of give myself a challenge with American Truck Simulator and try something different. Certainly any ideas you guys have or feedback, you know, drop them in the comments, and you know, we'll see what we can do.
Keep right and then turn right.
The good news is this is very, very close, so.
Turn right.
So this one does feel like, although $35 is probably accurate at best, it almost feels like it's too much for taking something 3 blocks, but
You have arrived at your destination.
I don't know that it would be any less, so. Now where? Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm like, where do I park this? Because anytime I've been to this location before, I've had to like turn around and park. Now while I'm using, you know, realistic mods from a gameplay perspective, I'm still gonna kind of do what I have always done, which is go outside the truck here for things like parking, just because it's a lot easier than trying to use mirrors. I forget how difficult these construction homes are to actually get to move because of that long trailer arm, but hopefully this will do it. And I've got realistic sounds enabled, as you can tell, so the backup is you know, more of a real backup beep than is part of the game normally. I'm not sure what else it changes, but yeah, this isn't going to work. Alright, let's see. See what we can do here. I really would rather not go all the way out, but I'm not sure that I'm going to have a choice. Yeah, I think it's just going to be faster rather than trying to continue doing this. Whoops, that wall was a little closer than I thought. So I think I'm going to actually do it this way. Okay. Oh, it's closer to a pole than I thought. Overall, I'm not doing very well here. So not a good start. But probably very realistic of a new driver starting out, but Not sure that I have enough room to swing. Wow. This is significantly more challenging than I honestly expected it to be. And that has nothing to do with the settings, it's just the load that I happen to get here. Alright. Alright, that looks better. Now I should be okay. Because I should have enough ability to maneuver now. Now that I'm at least in the ballpark of where they want this. So I think that should be good enough. But we'll see where we end up. There we go. Alright, so we went 3 miles. Took a really long time. So, yeah, the mileage XP is similar, but you'll notice with this particular realistic economy mod, the experience is different. So normally getting to level 1 requires 200. So the little bit of testing I did with it, there are some changes in experience. There's also the bank is open immediately, but the interest rate and the amounts you can borrow are different than in base game as well. My plan is not to use any kind of a loan, so that won't really matter. We won't be able to get to skills, but this also keeps the multipliers for the money the same. There's some other realistic economy mods that change that, but given that we get paid so little, that really shouldn't be a problem. So let's see what we've got available to us. So we can go a full 250 miles. So you can see we're getting paid 22 cents, 14 cents a mile. You know, these are really significantly different than base game. So from a challenge standpoint, you know, definitely difficult. So it looks like 23 cents a mile is probably the best we're going to get. And at this point, given that I've really got very little money, I think I'm going to go ahead and take that particular job. So the other thing this mod does is it adjusts the freight availability based on some realistic settings as well. So we may have difficulty finding loads as well, which is part of the reality that truckers run into as well. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave this run on. It should be short enough that it is doable, but then, and that may be the full episode then, is these two runs, and then subsequent episodes will just be really short. Here's the job I'm grabbing, here's where I end and park, and what I get paid and experience, and we'll go from there. So yeah, the other one I had looked at, I think is called a Realistic Economy mod, and I think it's by Patrick with a a 1. And that appears to change a lot more things, but I think it leaves the XP as is, and I felt that allowed us to move up quicker. So I just decided of the two that I've seen to try this one first. So we'll see what happens, and if I suddenly determine I'm not enjoying this one, maybe I'll, start another series with that one. Wow, almost ran through the red light. Gotta remember that realistic physics. So I need more time to stop. Luckily there were no cars in front of us. And yeah, just to give you an idea, I think I ran 4 or 5 loads when I was testing this mod out, and I think with that I think I did level up 2 levels, but I think I only made like $300. So kind of gives you an idea of what we're looking at here. But once again, the intent is to try to kind of mimic the reality of what a trucker's dealing with, because yeah, they're not hauling one load from Port Angeles to something in Arizona and making $100,000 on it like base game lets you do. So this should give us something a bit more realistic. And I think there's more changes that occur, like once we get to the point that we can get our own truck and we're actually going out to the freight market instead of just simply being a contractor. But as you might imagine, that's going to take quite a bit of time to save up enough money for a truck and all of that. So we'll see how it goes, and maybe I will end up taking a loan at some point, but my goal would be to try to do this without that. I just don't know if that's going to make it something that takes a year before I can get a truck, but we'll see. So I do love coming in and out of San Francisco with the bridges and the mist on the water. I do like how they've done it within the game here. So yeah, I also have realistic road textures, so the roads probably may look different than you're used to. Not sure which way I need to go here. I think I'm going to Sacramento, so... Oh, wow, it's almost like I can't brake. This is very different.
Keep left.
Yeah, I'm more worried about like tipping a trailer or something, because I've never played with realistic physics, so I don't know how easy it is to tip if you're going beyond the speed limit. Which I guess means I just need to stay within the speed limit? I don't know. Wow, it is hard to slow down. And then, as I'm sure you can tell from the trucks we're seeing and the logos, I've also got the, just the mods for the vehicles and the companies and the advertisements, and basically, again, anything I can do to increase the realism and the feel of the game. So, realistic gas stations,
Keep left.
aside from, the gas prices, just having real names, realistic vehicle colors, So pretty much anything I could find that I felt might help with the realism. And there's definitely a lot more shaking of the truck from side to side I see with the realistic physics.
Keep left.
So hopefully they won't cut me off like they tend to do, because A, I won't be able to stop, but if I try to make a quick lane change, I'm not quite sure. That probably won't look good at all. Won't feel good either. And yeah, I am also using the mods by
Go
Patrick
straight on.
of the advisor, so you can see it up at the top of the screen. The route advisor, just a compact summary, and then the mirrors that appear up in the top corners as well, so that regardless of the truck I have, I don't have to keep moving the camera around, which should make things a little bit more stable. Yeah, I'm barely moving the wheel, but you can see that shake. Because I know when I looked at the mod for realistic physics, they suggested turning all the aids, like braking intensity, truck and trailer stability, basically all the way down to the minimum, to then get the true experience. So this is part of what I changed when I went into the options. So it kind of makes sense that, but yeah, the force feedback through the wheel even is pretty significant for
Go straight on.
feeling how it moves. But you can see the trailer wobbling back there. You know, just even though we're going pretty straight, so definitely adds a different feel to the game than the base game does. So if you're looking for something different, from the little bit of experience I'm having here, I'd say this is a pretty significant change in how it feels to play the game. It definitely gives me more of a feeling of I've really got to be careful to avoid unpleasant situations, so it's certainly going to make me drive a lot more realistically, which means it'll take a little bit longer to get places, because I probably won't go quite as fast, but that's what I'm trying to accomplish in this series, is realism, so that's what I'm gonna try.
Keep right, and then turn right.
Okay, so I better start slowing down right away, which once again I'm sure is what
Turn right.
a real trucker would need to do.
Keep right.
Okay. GPS needs to give me more warning, because I was like, man, if I gotta go left, this will be bad. I suppose I can spend a little more time looking at the route in more detail. Or I can put the GPS line back on the map there, but I like to drive this way without it, so that I can see when I'm exploring new roads. Alright, so it looks like our drop-off point is here. There we go, we've discovered Sacramento, so we'll have another alternative to starting.
Right, and then exit right.
Yeah, the other thing that I think this is going to make me do is, in the past I'd probably exit, maybe go take a little bit of a detour to unlock another city, but given how little we're paid, I don't think that's going to make a lot of sense. I think it's just going to be important to get places, get our $100, and go from there. And yeah, given that as a contractor our employer's paying for our fuel, the realistic fuel prices probably won't have
Get ready. Turn right.
as much of an impact on us right away, because it's not coming out of our pocket.
Turn right.
But that will certainly start to impact the choices that I make, because I don't know how much I want to fuel up in California,
You have arrived at your destination.
being stationed in California. It's going to be kind of difficult to not fill up in California. So I kind of forgot about that part of the situation when I picked my starting base as San Fran, because yeah, that'll don't want to hit that car. That will make a difference for sure. This is a really ugly brown color for this cab. Definitely not one I will pick when I buy my own truck. This is terrible. But they're giving me a tractor to use, so I'm using what they give me. So yeah, it looks like we've got a reefer trailer here. Yeah, I kind of set myself up for difficulty here because I didn't pull far enough forward, but I don't know that I'm going to be able to do this now. Goodness gracious. This is just two really bad options in a row. I'm going to take out their bushes. Good news is it's not the position tucked up right against the building, so now that I've got the trailer angled a bit, we'll see if we can make this work, but I'm sure this store is going to be thrilled about me tearing up their grass. This might actually work, though. I'm not going too fast, so other than the weight of the truck making a mess of the yard, it shouldn't be too terrible. I'm not quite sure this is going to give us a skilled parking bonus. This may be the midpoint bonus of 40 XP, because we're not tucked up against the building, so we've got more opportunity to maneuver. This is just not a good start to this. But this should hopefully get us what we need. Straighten it out. Alright. Not the best job, but it gets us there. Alright, so we're at level 1, and again, then to level 2 is 580. Normally that would be 700. So you can kind of see what the difference is with the mod that we're seeing already. At this point, I certainly want to expand my distance as the first thing I'll do with the skill point. But if we look at these, these are basically unchanged with this mod of what they are in the base game. So, we'll get higher reward, which is basically the dollars, and then the experience goes up accordingly. So this is, the challenge with this particular mod is that it does adjust the experience a bit, but it doesn't it adjusts the experience per level, but it doesn't change the amount you get, where the other realistic economy mod takes the multiplier down from 1.6 per mile down to 1, so your XP is slower, but the jobs are a little bit more. So if we look at the progress here, you know, we're just barely crawling up. I'll just take a quick look, you know, because at this point we've got, yeah, Sacramento or San Francisco, so we do have some more jobs available to us. We'll take a look at those next time. As I said, I want to keep these pretty short. And so what I'll start doing in the next episodes is basically show you the job I'm picking, you know, maybe show a little bit as we pull out, and then just basically it'll be a jump to the drop off. You know, I'll show you me parking and getting the result, and then just stitch a bunch of those together, because as I said, my belief is it's going to take a lot of jobs, especially after we get past these first couple levels, to really make any progress. So sitting and watching me drive them all is not going to be effective for this series, because it's going to be a lot of driving to get paid. You know, in essence, I mean, I don't think we're going to get anything more than 250 yet this go around yet, but you know, we're not even exceeding $100 for a job yet. So to get, you know, 150,000 for a truck is going to take a while, but that's the reality the truckers face. So that's all we've got for this episode, and I'll see you next time.